لو تصير شمسنا هذه سواد، لو تكون أرضنا كوم رماد، لو أخاف شعبنا تحت الزناد، لو يظنوا أننا جمع وباد.
There's a very beautiful story narrated by Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh, that one night he was sleeping and he woke up in the middle of the night and he just couldn't get some rest, so he walked out of his house and came into the streets of Medina Munawwara. And while he was walking around, in front of him he was shocked to see the Prophet ﷺ was there. And the Prophet ﷺ was taking his private little stroll at night. So Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh says that at that time I felt that I should go to the Prophet ﷺ and walk with him. You know, that private time, I would ask him questions, he would talk to me, I can ask him anything I want to, that very close, intimate, private time. But then he thought to himself that if I go to the Prophet ﷺ, maybe the Prophet doesn't want to be disturbed, maybe he wants to be alone. So Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh says, I quietly walked behind the Prophet ﷺ. I was shadowing him. His words in the narration actually are, I was walking in the light of the moon. It's very quietly, just shifting myself, following the Prophet ﷺ. At some point the Prophet ﷺ figured out someone was following him, so he turned around and said, who's there? Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh, he comes out and says, the Messenger of Allah, it's me. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Ta'al, come here. He comes next to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ said, let's walk. And as they were walking, they came to this mountain. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said to Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh, that if Allah gave me wealth equivalent to this mountain, I would use every penny of it to spend on the poor people. I wouldn't keep a penny of it for myself. And when I read this narration, honestly it shocks me, because I think to myself, if someone gave me $10 million, I would change. Everything about me would change. And he says I wouldn't change, I'd be the exact same person. Then Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh says, we continued walking with the Prophet, and a time came where the Prophet ﷺ said to me, Abu Dharr, sit here and don't move until I come back. So Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh sat down, and the Prophet ﷺ walked off into the night. And after a little bit he began to hear some noise, some talking, some chatting. And he became worried. He felt like I should go check up on the Prophet. So he was getting ready to leave, but then he remembered the Prophet said, don't move from here. So he sat back down, waited, until he saw the Prophet ﷺ return. When the Prophet ﷺ came back, he went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, O Messenger of Allah, where were you gone? And I heard some noise. What was that noise? The Prophet ﷺ said, that was Jibreel alayhi salam. He came and said to me, whoever says La ilaha illallah, that person will go to Jannah. And Abu Dharr radiallahu anh is shocked. Like, what? You know how like when you get a deal, you don't believe it? Like, that's the deal? So he says, O Messenger of Allah, وَإِن زَنَا وَإِن سَرَقَ, even if that person did zina and even if he stole, like even a sinner, if he says La ilaha illallah, he goes to Jannah. The Prophet said, وَإِن زَنَا وَإِن سَرَقَ, even if he did zina, even if he stole. He was lost. He said, O Messenger of Allah, وَإِن زَنَا وَإِن سَرَقَ, even if he stole and did zina. The Prophet ﷺ, second time he responded to Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh, وَإِن زَنَا وَإِن سَرَقَ. So then Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh, he was still in disbelief. He asked a third time. You know, like, you just can't believe it. This is the deal. He says, وَإِن زَنَا وَإِن سَرَقَ, even if he stole, even if he committed zina, he fornicated. The Prophet ﷺ said, وَإِن زَنَا وَإِن سَرَقَ عَلَى رَغْمِ أَنْفِ أَبِي ذَرٍ, that even if he did zina, even if he stole, even if Abu Dharr doesn't want him to go to Jannah. And Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh, whenever he used to narrate this hadith, you know, you think about it, he could have easily taken that last part of the narration out. No one would have known that's what the Prophet said to him. But whenever he used to narrate the hadith, he would say, عَلَى رَغْمِ أَنْفِ, even if I don't like it, that person's still going to Jannah. La ilaha illallah. Beautiful narration.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا